So, but one more post, post number 10, following one of the following, concerning the personalized infrastructure here, if not necessarily also living here. So, twin devices and twins. As there was no twin to my person findable, this might have been the reason why I have had to be twin devised. For other women to study my behavior and learn a bit or two. For other reasons than merely having a second one, but for reason of commercialization and embetterment, of course, because no one is perfect. So they would perfect themselves and see me as a kind of, in German, Steinbruch. It has been announced though, if in 1997 maybe, on a bicycle tour, yeah, very simple. So here we see here this hole, and here stones can be replaced and taken out, and this is exactly what we're gonna do, or already doing. This would place number 3 love relationship in even more closer connectivity, connection even to the previous one, number 2. If a half of a twin of Hamburg is important, and he is the one that was introduced by simply telling a story like, well, we are be playing a person comateuse male with hardcore heavy metal. Later I would reconstruct, because I, at the beginning of my Marburg 1 time, had indeed also a law student colleague from over the top of Hamburg. Which county is that? Schleswig-Holstein. So, because I had met that guy and was together with on a friendship basis, similar to the other Hamburgian one, which later then would communicate, we are going to pawn you and give you not anything, and tell you not anything. And if you find out anything, we still continue to not tell you anything, because we are we, as it seems. So, if there is a Hamburgian comateuse and shipped from here to there in order to hold him off from me, for reasons reconstructible, I presume, then I would say it was a gross mistake, both from the medical standpoint, from the ethical standpoint, from the Grundrechte standpoint, not to talk about in this county, it seems, and from the criminal law standpoint also, and on mere human grounds, I would say, don't they have any, my father would say, Gespür, yeah? Don't they feel this is somehow wrong, so we refrain? No, obviously not. I still don't have any clue. So this could be one of the loopholes on the Hamburgian ice Binnenalster, somewhere in directions end of 90s, where indeed also I could fall in to never appear again. So I presume that that guy I met in May 24, I knew him. I even drove back after seeing him and passing him by. I even would drive back, and we exchanged a sentence or two. So he would communicate, I have read your text and that particular part. Think on that. I have nothing to think about, because I did not do anything wrong. And if so, it should have been told directly, which it wasn't. So that, it would be an interesting twist, and apt to the official life here in Germany, if that bloke, maybe a former pupil of my father's, which would kind of place him in there, if the former reconstructional part was correct, that there are indeed one or two persons from the over, would you believe that, over 40 years old long educational stream of my father's alone, in his Hauptschule, later Realschulabschluss, enabling a higher degree than the former enabling. So if that was the case, that was one of his and slash a particular one, then he also had at least 2 years in the primary school of studying my mother. So from there could have been add-ons to the idea developed completely otherwhere, because that one, then at least, I dare say, was too stupid. Don't misunderstand me. Yeah, it was it. You need it. I showed it in my text. If only the Rocker Horror Picture Show ... how did I call it? I've forgotten. I've written so much. I've forgotten. Would you believe it? It is the most important text, and it is already contested. So those people having kind of span an overarching bow of Geistesgrößen-texts, yeah, texts like Hegel and I don't know what more, Popper, anything. Then other people are behind, likely those I also know and also introduced. And if I'm not mistaken to point on that fact that had I been married, it is unusable, it is worthless, because I have not attended any marriage. I did not attend any marriage concerning myself. Here, German law, we are here in Germany. Ne? So, this is unglaublich. So, that chap might be the twin brother to the comateuse Hamburgian one, am I right? So, Hamburg, yeah, where are you? Where do you see your money flows go? Because if that comateuse is kind of having a lifeline, it was also suggested from the same direction, introducing the comateuse, having a kind of a lifeline to at least some kind of apparatus showing his brainwaves. This is already also making usage of a person who cannot say anything for or against. So of course this is a in German civil law a geldwerte Leistung, yeah. So is he paid? Of course no, he cannot spend. So imagine that he is also having a bank account on which money is flowing in. So where does all that money go? The one of the if still there, Omani policeman I had the chance to meet. Yeah, he might be mistaken for having directed me directly to the so-called Black Rock, commissioned by the CDU. I still did not do any assumptions in that direction. If this might be the second time in the whole reconstructional phases too that I would mention that Q word. So we happened to be we did not happen to be sitting. We were directly driving to that place and sat indeed beside a rock, because Omani is a rocky place. So we were having a coffee late at night, because it is warm there, so one can do that there. So this would be astounding, and it is of course not the fact that one does not know his brother. So what if a third brother was there? Just an idea, or to be introduced as one. what does this one then think? Do I exploit only the comateuse together with the other one? Or do I exploit both? Do I draw in a fourth person, which could have been me, exploit her first, connecting all others, including the whole of Hamburg and the Senate, for example, and our lawyers there, if still there, or the enormously spendable co-founder, as if co-founder of the by myself newly discovered, begun to discover Hamburg St. Pauli football team company. So where are you? Yeah, are you? Yeah, of course you don't know me. Of course it's so the latter possibility will have been chosen. Why? Because you did not ask criminal law experts. You did not ask human rights law experts. I remind one appearance here during my study time in at the University of Erfurt. By the way, important to remind you that the former university president is indeed a very look similar to the mentioned sponsor as of mid of 90s to that football company. So why did you choose that possibility that excludes me completely and endangers me? Had already. Though I'm not ascribing anything directly to Hamburg, because my reconstruction is there, concentrating very much on the people that I knew, that I only knew. So because you have asked sociologists and politics experts, and maybe have had the keyword in mind, Islamism, yeah. So as if every student of Islamic studies here in Germany was prone, especially I, after 2002, to become here a suspect of anything. Don't you forget, even during war times, in which we are still in, I know that, I've studied that, it is necessary that there are people kind of spanning other nets and connections. I would not have placed me on that level because I would not have considered myself important at all, but after my reconstruction, I have to say, I am. So excluding and further on endangering, stressing me out, waving with papers like we have an officially relevant plea here. The former steps we did not let you know anything about because we want to see another catastrophe here. We want to see everything raided. The whole. Oh, I hope this has. I've just pulled out this here. Yeah, I have no Erfahrung, and people not knew that. So also this year, yeah, this might be emptied for supporting the company's aim in supporting not well-off people, which is a nice idea, but letting me pay another time as if for a newly discovered likability to pay beforehand, like they did try with letting me pay afterwards sleep yourself around here, girl. Take every error available, because we had also already announced it on position right opposite to child molestation, at least. When that person here I did not know, but she was dressed in a as if we had carnival as early as 2009 maybe. She was saying that very sentence that I would not say, only on certain occasions, and I don't recall any, if I'm honest. That she would really love every person from there. So it was all announced, and it's all in preparations. So this former pupil of my father's, he now might indeed prefer for giving me more time, and because of course they cannot complete it. So he would now himself a blonde, likely have a red haired, which would be a clever idea, unless the black-haired chap that I had met in the Erfurtian Homelessness Care Home Center, and which I had spotted here at least once, was having that red-haired, which also would make sense according to my reconstruction. The former sense would be to kind of purify all blondes and red-haired, if the impression arose Germany is too black as of these days. So, and the other would be groundable in contexts of if creating and letting a Venus come alive, creating a two-colored one, red-haired and dark-haired, which would, let's not forget here, I have challenged Vogt as if I'm mad. I would never have done that. But it is logic on grounds of my reconstruction and the presentations here all over. So that would be nice an idea, because it would directly support my strong assumption that the whole neighbor here from their Lower Saxony was here to be reduplicated. So I would not have voted and opted for that, but I don't have any chance here. People are free to doing what they do, and interferences in other people's lives here either are normal or undetectable, halfways undetectable, and halfways not preventable. It's if those examples would not suffice, one could search for a third example in which I was made to pay for anything just because I had learned something before. Yes, maybe. My church in Marburg. I had taken people with I did not ask before, but we would leave everything in order as far as I can see. I do not know, however, what but two blokes, two then friends of mine, the love relationship number 2, and one of his buddies, would do when I was playing Bach. Indeed. I don't know. I didn't recognize anything peculiar. I would take 2 or 3 others with me on 1 or 2 occasions within maybe a time span of 2.5 years or so. So it was previously no problem at all, and during the end of my time, I kind of had to pay back to Lower Saxony a key from a halfway unimportant because very modern in terms of its age, church. In that case, it is not completely. No, it is unfortunately. It's always it's Escher. You reach somewhere and either you don't want, or you can't, or there is nothing. So again, I really can't ascribe it from where. Presumably, yes, a kind of order came. Grab her the key away. Afterwards, I was in Berlin. There I wouldn't ask. And I did not find another hobby, but I just find a further hobby. This would be the right way to formulate it. So still, even if now again in fear, I lose here again, and then spend another 4 years. No, just be a Schnecke, as we have called you then already. Be a snail, pack 2-3 things together, and then not in the Erfurtian homelessness care home center, but elsewhere. Yeah. So if that was the case, I wouldn't need the no. This would be the asylum solution, if they would leave me with the right passport. But still, the other solution, the inheritance matter, a huge matter, if it was the case that my friends then also establishing the website without asking and informing me, so my non-friends would have taken care for any occasion or any possibility, and having established a bank account at least under my forename, if not the full name. I would presume they have chosen the full name for making things overseeable and retraceable. So no one gave me a hint. No one, nowhere. Also not where I was invited for talks for anything. Yeah. Also there, no, which is understandable and foreseeable. Yeah, as a Beamtenkind, I of course would cling to that possibility till the very last moment. As if it's staatstragend ist das Wort, ja. So a kind of state supporting here. People ought not have done what they did, and now they are enjoying all the lives and their black and crypto money. Leave me with my fate, and no, they immediately can not only go in here, which is not disenabled but hardened due to the stickers I put on that door, and think they can proceed here any further. So here, all the dates. Here, this is. Oh, I might have not included the dates from the very first beginnings. This is strange. I don't understand that. Why is here not a date? No, if one looks closer, it is. So here things began. I began myself to anger. It is also not cheap. Such a foil. Yeah, it costs. So this is what one can experience here in Germany if one is German, has not had the right friends, has had many envious people around on grounds of that reconstruction. It is understandable. And if certain people gathered together, also understandable. Yeah, what do we know? This headmaster's daughter. My father was asked once, though he would report back. What can I say? He said, yes, I have a daughter. Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing was answered or said back. So that was a kind of chance, and they did not take it, unfortunately. That was, also, I don't recall, had I been in Erfurt then or in Marburg, I don't recall. Or in Berlin, I don't know. But my father reported that. Where did I start? The virtual prospective or already actual neighborhood enlarged by this person, including one comateuse brother, maybe another brother, and maybe another one supervising and wanting to cash in it all. It could be the Marburgian, because I don't know if I've on certain past shared it's not impossible. They were in Germany. No, this would be the argument. Sure, the second love relationship knew also where I lived. He was invited, into our house. He kind of misbehaved. I also mentioned that. I did not understand that. I thought this guy is going on my nerves, and it was more severe stuff behind. So of course, the first persons to address would be the pupils of my fathers, which kind of also would drag them in and make them a victim. And indeed, they might have victimized twice. At first, they betrayed the teacher they had no reason to dislike, and that had offered one or the other the chance of getting a better degree, together with his colleagues. And yeah, if one could qualify that as a victimization, then of course they would have to react. Yeah, one does react to victimizations, and they directed it into the direction from where the benefits once came. This would be a kind of twist psychologically for certain explainable, and on grounds of my reconstruction maybe also, if these kind of people were behind that already have started to play around quite philosophically, yeah? If my attempts and further ways merely on actually threats can apply. For example, the paragraph 328 BGB. Yeah, this is a contract, two people contract, and they would do it on not on this behalf of a third person, but on behalf of a person. So the twist there in kind of rethinking things would be doing a contract on this behalf of, for example, my person, which indeed very much appears to having been the case. So, and the second time they were being victimized by people behind overlooking it all and being able to deal with paragraphs and so on and so forth, and know where to look for things and not to look for things, would be to see their very identities vanish, because also there they had to previous to me. No, not really, because I had been pawned every time I was good. I received that, not knowing, but now I can reconstruct. So there, indeed, kind of similar play might have been game might have been at place if one or the other might have pornographed himself. So they would for certain have found another method to victimize. And where would they direct that? Yeah, I do not know. I do not know. Was it them who were diverting everything to elsewhere? We have we I mean, I'm acting here not as a lawyer but as a paralegal and analyst and what else, profiler. I, 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 I have a whole box of tools, so do use it, but please help me in getting what I deserve. This is at least, because it's only the basis worth, at least the work worth of my work. And if that goes in the millions, give me less, but give me more than monthly 1,000 on which no one can live. Also I. And I say that I for certain don't want to enter any chamber serving here and there, or being served even, I also would reject. I get there 100 or what, and 10,000 is earned because anything is handing in, or in other ways people are being let participate, and I still would have not a clue. Yeah. So this is this consideration. There are other people in the neighborhood. This one I would deal with very shortly because he's tall, he has big hands, and he has appeared already once or twice in very bright football shoes, as if I did not understand that. And of course, also he did not say anything, either in Persian or in German or in English, even. Um, so there is that bloke over there. He is very much a look similar to my love relationship number 3. That one owes me for several reasons, and I don't owe back. And it is also to being recognized that I kind of left him out. I offered a sleek way of getting out of things just by describing his bicycle, which he for certain got when I got mine from my brother, and both shared the commonality, if color-wise completely different and in a complete a different state of being. So the bicycles shared a commonality, a kind of marker. So there are other Persians. One lady, she would as if wanting to poison here someone. Yeah, she would just in German it's the verb zischen. Some snakes are being able to doing that. I don't mean the boa constrictors, and the other very powerful animals being able to doing those things, but the ones which are more which as if want to say something. So that one wanted to say something, passing me in that very moment. I did not see that woman before. Was it the mother of the Marburg One social contact that only I had come into slightly contacts with because she was visiting her then boyfriend, which was the Yugoslav, who moved out when the Hamburgian had to move in. So I still did not address Hamburg directly, but I would think this is something for Hamburgian authorities, other than maybe the Hamburgian Verfassungsschutz, who already might have thought, well, this one is here. Don't we recognize the face and the voice, and we don't do here anything? Because we have been served already. It was the first Verfassungsschutz in Germany who would hark back to that very name that they got from the 2006 raid. Early point of time, or prior, or much later, and in really a greater connectability to me. As regards the second, not version, yes, in a way version. In German, it's Ausfertigung of my 2005 BA exam. It was 3 more years, indeed, 3 more years when they would come up with that name. So, and in that second version, both two, in that regard also relevant two courses were time-wise exchanged. I don't recall it correctly, but there was something. So everything else seemed to be in order. I recognized the course titles and the notes and points and the overall note. So this version is still in my hands. It had been handed out, however, on emailing terms. And the first version is part of the first household that I even had not been offered if I would want to have it back. I, on my behalf, have already gotten some new topics to think, to ponder upon, which is, for example, this smoking. Yeah, so I did the most far-leading parts of my reconstruction, which is the mind map, on that. People, they know it because they are studying brains and behaviors, and so they should not involve me in any of those talks. Also, if things should be brought before courts, this would be my reply. Yeah, it is as simple as that. Some people cannot talk at all if drunk, if not drunk, if stoned or not, or if they simply cannot, or previously could not, if I recall my formulation, Wort- und satzarme Verstimmung, ja, at school times till the 10th class. I always experienced that. So on that ground, the very family name of the health chief center was built. It is a similar sounder. That one harked back onto that very incident where we at least a very severe Körperverletzung, a severe Körperverletzung in the latter case, in the blokes in the former classmates case, but it was a rolling hard device running against my head, and it blooded. It had not been sewn though, but it blooded. And by the way, no ambulance was called. I was accompanied by a girl who was always listening in sometimes in lessons even to bands like, again, the keyword Totschläger, Slayer. She listened to Slayer and things. So again, this Marburg One connection mail, putting a different person into that adjacency just because I would be a kind of middleman for a short period of time. I don't know what idea that is. I'm not medically theoretically medically equipped enough in order to understand that also.